Hi, all the signs of the zodiac. I'm Pam, the Lucky Mermaid, psychic seer and modern mystic, bringing you psychic predictions and messages from my spirit guides for this mid-month psychic tarot update for April 2026. Please be sure to watch your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign to get a more clear and complete picture of what's to come for you in April and perhaps beyond, because timing will be different for all of you in these general readings. So, all that being said, now on to your mid-month psychic tarot update for April 2026, and I'm starting with the sign of Aries. Aries, the first card in your reading is the Hierophant, and this is a card that symbolizes it could be God, or a high priest or pope giving you a blessing or a warning. It could also indicate higher education and higher learning. You could be the teacher or the student. Sometimes this card symbolizes religion. You may feel, it can also indicate an authority figure as well. You may really feel like in April, like you need to do things by the letter, by the book, following instructions, following directions. If you have to claim anything, could have to do with income tax if you live in the United States. I don't know when other countries do their income taxes, but so it could be something in regard to that, something you need to declare, something you need to write, something you need to state. It could be at work, it could be in a business setting or proposal. It could have to do with something, like I said, maybe filing your taxes. Some of you Aries could really be working up towards something big that's going to, either you're putting it out there, or maybe you don't even know that something big is coming your way, but as you're going forward, you're working up to it. You could find out that you've got some kind of money coming to you. It could be from an insurance payout, a tax refund, it could be an inheritance, or getting a raise, or a bonus, or some kind of commissions check. Some of you may be thinking of taking a break from what you're doing for work, or maybe thinking of retiring. You may be thinking of taking a break from work or retiring, but then maybe you're going to start your own business or, do something else. It doesn't mean, some of you won't be retiring for good. You could be retiring a particular job or career and moving on to something else. You could have a spot check inspection. So this could be in your home, your property, your land around your home. It could also be at work, or if you own your own business and like the fire marshal needs to come in, the Board of Health needs to come in, or I don't know, some other type of spot check or inspection could go on. However, you could be the one doing it. You could be giving a spot check and an inspection to something else, like something you're in charge of. But for some of you, this could be coming at you. The card you have with it is the Five of Rods, and this is an internal struggle going on inside of you, or it could indicate a struggle with coworkers, bosses, friends. There could be jealousy here sometimes when the Five of Rods comes up. So this could be an internal struggle or an external struggle. If there is some kind of spot inspection or something like that, you may feel like you're frantic, like I got to wipe everything down clean, or I got to adjust the things that need to be tuned up, fixed, or adjusted. Some of you could be struggling, having an internal struggle of how you handle some problem that's come up for you. It could be relationship oriented for some of you. There could be things going on that you want to take out, that you don't want to be seen. This could be, again, if you're filing taxes, maybe there's some income you want to take out and keep away from filing and you don't want it to be seen. This could also be something like if there's any bosses doing any kind of inspections, or if there's been any kind of negative feedback or complaints or something, and you may be like, whoa, I don't want this to be seen. So you could be removing it in some way. Some of you could find handling money matters in mid-April could be a little confusing. It could be some kind of bookkeeping you have to do, accounting. It could have to do with taxes. It could have to do with completely other situations. But handling money, accounts, finances, different things on that nature could be confusing. If you're tired and fed up with the working world, like with the companies or business you work for, you may be feeling like, I need to get out of this. I need to be my own boss and get out of that dog eat dog kind of world. There could be something closing or ending in your life that you may not want to see it close or end. It could be a place you like to shop, or it could be a roadway that you like to take to work. It could be a gym you like to go to. I don't know. Or, something could be closing, and it could be or a company or business you work for. Maybe they're closing. But something is closing that I don't feel like you're going to be super happy about. So I hope those messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Taurus. Hi, Taurus. The first card you have is the Three of Pentacles. And this is a card that symbolizes business expansion. It could also be expanding your work, paying attention to craftsmanship and attention to detail. You could be getting a promotion. You could also be looking at and investigating your finances. Some of you are getting a raise and a promotion, or something's elevating and happening for you in the workplace. That would be like, or they could be just giving you more work to do for some of you. I do feel, though, that you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that you're clearing out like work or business or things you have to do, or stuff or debris, which could be in your yard or in your home, out of the way. Some of you are building something. You could be building a shed, a gazebo, a deck, a patio, or something else, some other structure, or something mechanical. You could be building a motorcycle, a car, a computer if you're good with technology. I do feel like you're going to see your money grow exponentially from whatever you're working on or doing in this mid-month of April. If there's anybody that owes you money, so if you own your own business, if there's, clients, customers, people that owe you money, you're going to be asking for that money. You're going to be holding their feet to the fire. If it's any companies or businesses or, anything like that owe you money, again, you're going to be asking for it. You're going to be holding their feet to the fire. If you are in the stock market, I see trading, like stock trading, and the stock market potentially going up. So this will help you if this is, I feel like it's coming up here to show you, if you're in the stock market, some stocks you have are going to increase in their value, and you could get some capital gains there. You could be starting something in production, and you could have some financial gain from some production of something you're starting. Or if you're in the theater or acting world, something, a production that you could be involved in, directing, acting, something, and that production could do well financially. So the card you have with it is the Emperor, and this is a strong male figure in the living or deceased. So this could be a paternal figure, a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, or someone like a father figure to you. It could be somebody in the living, a husband, a boss, an ex-husband, a brother, an uncle. Doesn't have to be male. If you're a female, you could also be the Emperor. Sometimes there's strong Aries energy connected to the Emperor. If you're starting a business or company, you have to go through like certain channels, authoritative channels or legal channels. If you own a business or company and there's a lot of competition that seems to be driving up, you may be consulting the Emperor, so some strong figure, authority figure that could give you advice about how to beat the competition or stay level to the competition. Or this could be you. You could be the Emperor and you're like, okay, I'm putting my, thinking cap on. I'm pulling up my big girl, big boy boots on, and I'm gonna meet competition head on. So you could be the Emperor. But I do feel that some of you are going to be consulting somebody that knows what they're doing, that has experience with something. Potentially what I'm talking about here, about, meeting a competition head on or trying to grow or expand a business or maybe start one. And I feel like you need to have faith and trust in what the Emperor is saying to you. The Emperor could point out that there's big holes or gaps in your plan. That maybe the Emperor is going to give you the ideas of what to do, of how to handle that. Some of you could be thinking about how you can make money in a different way. Maybe this is in addition to a job you already have. Like maybe you want to start a sideline business or hobby or get a part-time job, but for some of you it could be like making money in a whole new way, doing something you never did before. Maybe you're going to be doing some kind of work at home, online, or starting an online business. Maybe you're starting a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel. So I hope those messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Gemini. Hi, Gemini. The first card you have is the Page of Rods, and this is a fire sign person, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign. It could be you if you have a sun, moon, or rising sign that's a fire sign. Pages can also be children, or they can be adults that are immature or young at heart, or bringing in a message. And they can be messengers. So it could be a message about work, business, enterprise, or the birth of something new coming in. Actually, I feel like there's some things that you need to close down and stop doing. If you have any kind of health conditions, there may be certain activities or foods you eat or medications you were taking or treatments you were getting that you're not going to do anymore, that you're going to close down and not do anymore. There could be a change in your blood sugar levels, or could be hormones. So it could be blood sugar or hormone levels, or something that changes in your blood that makes you might have to drink something to I'm seeing like a drink that could have vitamins, minerals, be some kind of like supplement, or maybe it's got protein or collagen. I don't know what's in it, but I see some of you will be starting to drink something on a daily basis. If you are, I hear the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Some of you may go into a business similar to what your father did, or a mother, but it comes up to me as a father. So you may start embarking on some kind of business or career that's similar to, if it's not a father, it could be a grandfather or your mother, or a grandmother, but you could embark on something that's similar to something someone did in your family, possibly your father. You could have somebody in your family, could be one of your kids, that comes to you and says, I need to take out a loan. Can you co-sign a loan? So if they need a loan for a car or for a home or for something, they could maybe need you to co-sign a loan, or they could be asking to borrow you for money. So the card you have with it is the Death card. The other sign that got this is Leo, also got this too. So the Death card is transformation, something ending so something new can begin. I hear like you have to take more new precautions and measures. Again, I'm going to go back to your health. For some of you, I do feel it's connected to your health and well-being. You also may feel like I have to stop wasting time on projects that are aggravating to you. It could have to do with, like, maybe you're renovating your home and you're doing it yourself, or you're putting in a new kitchen floor, or you're trying to build a deck, or you are, I don't know, it could be something else. But it just like some kind of project or something that's aggravating to you. Could be landscaping. You may feel like, I don't want to keep doing this. This is too much. It's too much work. I'm going to hire somebody to do it. Some of you may make a drastic move and sell a lot or all of your worldly possessions and move. But it could be a big move, like you may move to another country for some of you. You could open up some kind of doors of communications. It could be with a person you haven't talked to for a long time, or someone new, so you could be opening up new communications. But some of you may get involved in the business of communications, which could be, something to do with a computer or cell phones, or, I don't know what. But some of you could get involved in the area or business of communications, or you could be opening up communications, like I said, with someone you haven't talked to for a while, or a new person that could come into your life, and you may open up communications with them. If you move, I feel you're going to have a better vantage point. You may move to a higher terrain. So you could move up a hill, up on a mountain, or in a country that's at a higher elevation point. I don't know, but some of you are going to have a higher vantage point. So I hope these messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Cancer. Hi, Cancer. So the first card you have is the Empress, and this is a card that symbolizes the birth of a child or the birth of a business project, plan, or an idea. This card can also symbolize a strong maternal figure that's either living or deceased, a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, or someone like a mother figure to you. You could be the Empress. The Empress is a card of creation. Some of you may really want to change your environment. And you might have been looking at like TV shows where they do home improvements or renovations, or you could be looking through magazines where they show, you know, different decor, different paint, you know, like, so you could have something that whet your appetite that makes you want to change your either internal or external environment. But I feel for many of you, it's like your interior. This could be a strong time frame for Cancers to want to showcase something they've done. So if you've made anything, created anything, worked on anything, built anything, started something, or have some special talents or skills, this could be the time where you want to showcase what you've done, what you know how to do, or things you've made. You may have to lean on somebody for some kind of support. Some of you maybe broke something, hip, knee, ankle, foot, I don't know, or sprained something. So you may literally need to be leaning on somebody's support if you're, you know, going out to an event or something. Some of you, this could be leaning on somebody for emotional support or financial support for some of you. I do feel like some of you are going to want to make hay while the sun shines or something like that. I forget that old saying. You may feel like you want to live it up, go out, have fun, have a good time. So you got to be careful you don't fall because I do see some of you like you sprained your ankle or you twisted your foot or you know, or you broke something. So that, because that came up first. So next I'm getting, you want to go out and have a good time. So you could be really super social and want to, you know, go out with friends, live it up. This could be a month where you're going to make something, where you're going to make someone uncomfortable with something you have to say to them. This could be one of your kids or a coworker or, you know, an employee if you're a boss. The card you have with it is the Chariot. And this is a card that means being pulled in two different directions, having to choose between two different paths. It can also be success. The Chariot can mean success. It can also indicate change. If you have a business or something you've created, or it could even be your home environment, there's something you want to build bigger or better. And this could be a month where you feel very inspired to complete projects. And you want it to be like seamless. Like I get like seamless effort. So if you're building any projects, whether it's on the computer, you know, using technology, or if it's for a website, or if it's for something you're literally building that has drywall or bricks or cinder blocks or whatever, you're going to want like where things meet up together to be seamless. Some of you could be dealing with lighting. It could be recessed lighting. There could be some kind of holes that have to get dug for lighting, or it could be other things like air conditioning vents or ventilation of some other sort, or if you have heating ducts that need to be cleaned out, like anything like that could crop up for you now. But dealing with lighting, recessed lighting, vents, ventilation, air conditioning ducts, heating ducts, getting them cleaned out or getting new ones put in is all par for the course here. Some of you are going to get out of some kind of debt, like some debt you've had for a while. I feel you pay it off. And that could happen anywhere between mid-April and the end of July. I see you paying something off or getting out of some kind of debt. In your area, you may see falling stars or shooting stars or falling stars, whatever you want to call it. I know once in a while that, like when I was a kid, I remember it would get talked about, and maybe even in my 20s, where I'd hear, oh yeah, falling stars are going to happen tonight, or shooting stars, and people would go out and look at them. That could happen in your area in April, or maybe even in May. So I hope those messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Leo. Hi, Leo. The first card you got is the Death card, which is transformation, something ending so something new can begin. And Gemini also got this card for this mid-month update. Some of you are losing sleep over something. Like you may be trying hard to keep up with something. It could also feel like you have a lot to, or something big you need to tackle right now. If you have any employees, or even if you work for another business or company and you have employees that are under you, you could have to like reprimand them or have some issue with them, or have to speak out to them and get them to, you know, like toe the line, do certain things that they're supposed to do that they're skipping over or not doing. I do pick up some aggravation for you around it, and you could be gritting your teeth. You might have issues with your teeth also. You may need to go to the dentist to get a bridge or a cap on your teeth, or some dental work of some sort done could also come up. But I do get you gritting your teeth. So that could be connected to the aggravation that you may have of talking to a subordinate that's not doing something that they're supposed to be doing. You could feel the pressure of time, like you don't want to waste any time. There could be an essence of time that you're concerned about. It could be a deadline of something. Could be filing your taxes if you live in the U.S. Like I've said earlier on one of the other signs, I don't know when other countries do their taxes. We do it on April 15th. So it could be a deadline like that you're worried about, or it could be something else. Like you could just feel the pressure of time for other reasons. You know, maybe your biological clock's ticking and you want to have kids before you feel like you're getting too old. Or it could be something else, some other deadline of something you need to meet. You could be working on some kind of plaster cast of something, or some, what's that stuff called? Epoxy, or a plaster cast of something that you could be pouring things into a mold or making something decorative. It could be for the outside of your house. It could be for the inside. It could be something maybe you want to sell. I don't know. So you have the Nine of Cups with this, which is wish fulfillment. All good things coming to you in an emotional sense. You could feel like contentment, peace, some wish or something could come true. An answered wish, an answered prayer, something you wanted to see come true. If there was something that you had applied for that you wanted to get the green light or to get accepted, I feel like you get that acceptance. You get that green light. You get that go ahead. You could find that you're, talking to and meeting a lot of different people in April and maybe moving forward into other months. So if you have a business, or maybe the company or business you work for, you have to have those kind of conversations where you're shaking people's hands and handing out business cards, or talking about a certain product or project that you have or that you deal with or sell, or the company or business you work for does. So you could find yourself out and about, shaking hands, meeting people, having, maybe some interesting conversations. Some of you are going to change your diet in some way, and or maybe your exercise plan, or both. So there could be certain things about what you do for your health and wellness and physical well-being that you could be going through some kind of change, changing it now. You could feel like you want to stop eating sugar. That could be it. It could be something else, like maybe if you smoke cigarettes or you drink alcohol, or there could be something that you do that you may feel like you want to stop doing. If you've been working out lately, you could look really, really good in April. Some of you could find out that a new law has been passed that's going to be of great benefit to you, especially if you own your own business, or if you work for another business or company where this law is going to, it could be a law happening in the place where you work that's going to benefit you. It could also be a law that could be helpful to you in regard to retirement, Social Security, or maybe something to do with health insurance or car insurance. There could be some kind of law of some sort that gets passed. And like I said, for some of you, it could be a law or rule or regulation that would affect you at the place where you work or at a business you own. But for some of you, it could be affecting you on a bigger scale, like on a personal level, that would have to do with retirement, taxes, insurance, health insurance, auto insurance, or something of that nature. So I hope those messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Virgo. Hi, Virgo. So the first card you had in your reading is Nine of Swords. And this is a card that symbolizes, could be grieving the loss of a love relationship or grieving some kind of loss. This could also indicate migraine headaches or headaches, sleepless nights, bad dreams. Could also indicate maybe you don't feel well, or you could be worried about somebody else not feeling well. You could have trouble trying to figure something out. There could be something you're trying to do on the computer, or I don't know, something anywhere that you're like, I'm having trouble figuring this out. And you may feel like I got to stop doing it or trying to do it or trying to figure it out, because it seriously, seriously could be giving you a headache for real. You could be getting, it could be giving you headaches. You could see some kind of weird charge come up on your charge account that is fraudulent. Or maybe you used your credit card and bought something and now you're having buyer's remorse. Or that somebody else used your charge card and they bought something that you are like, not happy that they did that, or that they maybe spent too much money. So you could have some like weird, like regret or unhappiness or weird feelings about something to do with your credit cards or a particular charge card. You could not be feeling well. Some of you may catch some kind of flu. It could also have to do with seasonal changes, which could make you feel ill, or something blooming in your area that can make you feel sick. I know when I was living in a house that around the corner from me, a neighbor had all these locust trees in a row. And every year I would get sick, and I didn't, in May, and I didn't attribute it to that. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor said to me, "Do you realize that you get sick every May?" Looking at my record. And I'm like, "No." And he said, "What blooms around you in May. You need to think about it. I think it's an allergy, but it literally felt like the flu. I would get sick like the flu. And I came to find out I have horrible, horrible allergies to locust trees. So I stopped the timer just to tell you that story, because this could be something that could come up for you. Something could be blooming, or something in your area that's putting off like pollen or something that could be causing an allergy for you that could make you feel like you have the flu. Something that you were entitled to, or that you used to do or used to be able to do, you're not going to be able to do anymore. It could be like a benefit from work. Like maybe it was like amount of time you're allowed for a break. Or, you know, maybe it was like people could leave the building at lunch and now maybe they can't. And that was, you like to get away from the building. You didn't want to be there. But I don't know. There's something that you used to be able to do that you're going to find out you can't do anymore. So you could feel regret or sad about, disappointed about that. The next card in your reading is the Eight of Swords. Look at you. You got Eight of Swords. You got Nine of Swords. So Eight of Swords is a card that symbolizes feeling trapped. You could feel trapped in an emotional prison, but it could actually be a physical thing that's making you feel trapped as well. And you might not be able to see how to get out of it. However, it might actually be easy for you to get out of it. You're just not seeing it. You could feel like you have to do certain things under duress. You may feel like you're under mental, or possibly for some of you, physical duress. Some of you could also have some weird things you're hearing at night. That could be in your house, in your attic, or in your basement, or in your walls, or it could be outside your house when you're trying to sleep. So you could be hearing weird noises. And it could be, it could wake you up and then make you feel nerve-wracked. It could be ghosts. It could be squirrels, raccoons in your home. It could be, like I said, ghosts, or it could be something going on outside. You may feel like you want to take time off. You may feel like you want a vacation. Or like you'd like to take a leave of absence or go on some kind of trip or travel or vacation. You also need to think about, it would be wise for you to stop worrying about everybody, or you just might be worrying too much, because I'm picking up all this, worrying about this one, worrying about that one, or worrying about the state of the world, things going on, wars, other things. You could be worried about that, or the economy, which can also come up in the Nine of Swords card, and you got it coming up here in the Eight of Swords card. You may feel like you're not ready to make some kind of big adjustment or change, but it could be being thrust upon you. Maybe they're making you retire at work, or maybe you have to move or relocate to another country, state, province, town, or location of business. Maybe you work for a business or company and they have another location somewhere else, and you like the location you're at, but they're going to make you transfer to a different one. It could be something like that. So I hope these messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Libra. But before I go on to Libra, I just want to let you know about a few special video series I've recorded that you may want to check out. They are sold on Vimeo and also on my Patreon shop. My What's Lucky and New for You in 2026 Psychic Tarot and Oracle card readings are available. This is a very popular video series I record every year, so you may want to check that out and possibly get your sun sign and your rising sign in those videos. Also, my financial psychic tarot readings for 2026 are available. So if you want to see what my guides have to say for you about your finances in this year, you may want to check that video series out. Also, my full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo psychic tarot, oracle card, and crystal readings are available on Vimeo and Patreon. And you're going to be affected by that eclipse, also the one that was in February. I did a video series for that one too. You're going to be affected by that eclipse for 6 to 9 months and maybe even up to a year. So that occurred on March 3rd, 2026, so you may want to check that out. And don't forget, my psychic crystal readings for the month of April 2026 are also available. They are a continuation and an expansion of the psychic tarot readings I do at the beginning of the month. So if you want more messages and predictions from my spirit guides for April, I recommend you check out those psychic crystal readings. So now on to the sign of Libra. Hi, Libra. So the first card you have is 8 of Pentacles, and this is learning a new craft, learning a new skill, starting a new job, starting a new business, and gaining financial gain and rewards from your hard work and efforts. It can also indicate the card of the apprentice. That's what it was called in the old time days of tarot. You may feel like you want to shake things up. You want to get things grooving in your money trail. You could have some opportunities that pop up for you where you could make some money, maybe doing sideline jobs, short-term or long-term gigs. New job opportunities could pop up for you. If there's any kind of contests or competitions, you may want to enter it, especially if there is some kind of financial payoff. If you are employed, you may be asking your boss for more money. If you own your own business, you could want to see production speed up so you could make more money or make money faster. You could be moving your money around. If you had money in stocks, you might want to move it and then purchase land. Or maybe you have money in cryptocurrency and you want to move it around and buy precious metals with it, or a variety of ways, or just moving your money from one bank to another, or one type of account to another. Some of you may be spending money on property, a new property, land, or something that already has a building on it. Or you could be doing something to your own property that would increase its value. You could be building an addition or making home improvements or renovations. Could even involve landscaping, painting, siding, windows, anything like that that would cost money but could increase the value of your home. If you have to or want to get some kind of plan approved, it could get approved now, and then you're going to have to pay money, like for the permits or zoning or approval, and the materials maybe you need to buy. The card you have with it is the 6 of Pentacles. So you had the 3 of Pentacles, now you got the 6 of Pentacles. So this is a card that symbolizes giving generously and freely and charitably to others. You could be receiving generosity and charity from others. This card can indicate the balance of give and take, and you may have financial success coming to you in the future. If you found something and you returned it to the person, you could get financial reward. Or you could be getting a reward for something you did. Like, you know, maybe you saved somebody and they're going to give you money, or you saved a boss or a company some money by something you pointed out or figured out. They could give you some money or a bonus for that. You could be creating wills or trust funds. You may be looking at your finances and figuring out how much money you have you can leave to different family members or people you love and care about. So you could be looking at your money and thinking about how it's going to get divided up. That could be part of, you know, what you're doing. You could be helping somebody out by giving them a boost with buying them something of value or giving them money. And this could be to somebody that needs to go to college, or they're in college, or they're going away to school, or they want to, but they're a first-time home buyer. Like, you could be helping pay for something, somebody's education, a vehicle. Could be, like I said, if they need money to like put a down payment on a home, or they're buying a home and you trying to help them out. If you put up a GoFundMe, or if somebody else put up a GoFundMe for you, you could have donations coming in. Or if you have a business, you know, like a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel, sometimes people put, you know, donation buttons underneath their videos, and or buy me a coffee or whatever you choose, and you could start getting donations if, you know, if you have a channel. That could be happening for some of you Libras out there. So I hope this reading was of help to you, and I hope it made sense. Now on to the sign of Scorpio. Hi, Scorpio. The first card you have is the Three of Cups, and this is three sisters, three females, three friends, help from friends. Could also indicate you throwing a party, gathering, or celebration, or you attending a party, gathering, or celebration. It could also indicate a celebratory conclusion to something that had been going on in your life. I do feel that some of you are going to a family gathering or party. It could be a wedding, but it could be some other type of gathering. And you may be doing this outdoors. So if it's still cold where you live in April, this could be you getting an invitation, and it could be happening at a later date. But for some of you, I feel this party or gathering or wedding or whatever it is could be outdoors. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity for you to meet new people you've never met before, but to also reconnect with people you already know. That comes up here as well. I feel like you're going to be excited to do it. Like, jump at the chance to go. Like, this is something you're going to want to do. I don't feel this is something you're like, ugh, I don't feel like doing it. I do feel like you're going to be excited about going. Some of you could have a reoccurring thing that you do either every year or maybe a couple times a year, where you meet up, you get together, and it could be you go on a trip. Maybe you always go to the same place, or there's certain places you go. In the spring we go here, in the summer we go here, in the fall we go here, in the winter we go here. So you could be meeting up with family, like to have a vacation or a trip or an outing of some sort. If there was anything that was unsettled among family members, maybe it was an estate, a will, an estate, or a dispute of some sort, it could finally get solved now. That could get solved. And you could find that you're now on firmer ground and better footing with people that you were not jiving with. Again, I feel like this could be about family. If there were any secrets that were kept from each other. There could be secrets that are getting discussed and put out in the open, that are getting, looked at, discussed, revealed. And that doesn't necessarily mean just you're doing it. It could be all of you or whoever's involved. Each one of you could be doing it, like getting some things that were hidden or secret or, not discussed could get addressed and talked about and get out into the open now. So the card you have with it is the Magician. That's the card of the manifester. What you think about, you bring about. What's in the ethers and in the spiritual plane, you can manifest into physical reality, and you have all the tools in front of you with which to do so. The Magician could also be trickster energy as well. You're starting to see the writing on the wall, where some things that were unclear to you are going to become very clear in this mid-April, or maybe even going into May. And you may have to adjust your thinking and be prepared to do things in a different way than what you originally had planned or had set out to do. If you were in a sporting team and you have the ability to get traded, I feel like you're getting traded to another team. This could also happen at work. If you work for a business or company where there's multiple locations, a sister location may be sending 1 or 2 or 3 of their employees to where you are, and where you are, some of you are getting sent over there. So there could be some kind of trade situation happening among a company or business you work for. If you had any legal battles or concerns or issues, I feel that they get solved for you this month of April or going through until the very first week of June. I do feel that some of you are moving up the ladder of, moving up the rung of the ladder of success. So moving up in your success area comes up. And this is going to give you a chance to demonstrate your skills, show them what you're made of. Like, that's all very likely now. And a door that was once closed could get held open for you now, especially in a business that you work for. Like maybe there was a department you wanted to work for and that was closed to you, but now maybe it's open now. There's something work or business related or financially related that was closed to you before that becomes open and available to you now. So I hope these messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarius. So the first card you have is the Lovers, which could mean that you are attracted and have strong sexual chemistry with someone. It could be love, but sometimes it's not love. This could also indicate, see the angel looking over the couple, could be creating interference for the couple or problems, or could be giving the couple a blessing. Sometimes the Lovers indicate infidelity, so somebody could be cheating, that's possible. If you are in a romantic relationship with someone, you may want to improve that relationship and make it better. And you may even feel like you don't care if you have to spend money to do it. Like if you need to, however you could spend money on someone. Buy them a new car, buy them a nicer place to live, where the two of you could live someplace in a nicer place or nicer neighborhood, or take them out all the time, or buy them an expensive gift, or whatever comes up to you. So you could feel like you want to take care of somebody better, and in your mind it may involve some expense, some money you have to spend. anything that had been confusing to you in a situation, doesn't have to be a love relationship, could be any situation, you're going to have clarity now. You're going to have better understanding and clarity, especially in the area of where you stand in a particular situation or relationship. Some of you could be going on a date and breaking bread with someone you used to date in the past, or that you worked with in the past or had friendship in the past. And it could come around like you get together with them, you go out, and it could turn into a romance or an affair or a love relationship. If you are in a work situation, you and a teammate, you and a coworker, or you and a partner, if you work in a business or company, you could be bringing a lot to the table now together. Like if there's any business meetings, corporate meetings, board meetings, any kind of meetings, the two of you could have like a proposal, a plan, like, hey, look at what we've cooked up. We think this would help production. We think this would get us more money. We think this would sell better. We think this is a better promotion. And you two present it together, it will go well. So the card you have with it is the Seven of Pentacles, which is being tired and exhausted of your hard work and efforts, but gaining financial gain and rewards from your hard work and efforts. It's like you could see the fruits of your labors now. You could be getting bored with your job or bored with something that you're working on or trying to fix. So it could be at work, it could be your career at work, it could be something at home that you're working on or trying to fix, or it could be your job and you could be bored. This could be inspiring you to want to take a vacation or want to take more time off, or, you know, maybe go part-time or reduce your work schedule. You could feel very philanthropic now, and you may want to do charity work, work for foundations. If you're not in that kind of line of work, nonprofit or anything like that, you may want to get into that line of work now. You could be inspired to do that. You may feel like you want to show your brilliance, your talents, your skills, and your creativity. You may feel that your talents or skills have been underestimated in the past. And you may feel like, well, I don't want to keep being underestimated. I'm going to show you what I know how to do, how talented I am, how smart I am, how good I am at this or that. And so you could be motivated to like demonstrate your knowledge, talents, and skills. Some of you, I see you getting an envelope and it has money in it. It could be like a tip from a client or customer. It could be a bonus from your boss. Could be a gift of cash from a friend or relative. I don't know, but I see somebody handing you an envelope and there's money in it. I get, this is hard to read, but I get, you want to leave the drama to other people. You want things to be peaceful and calm right now. I feel you've already gone through upheaval, drama, and, you know, like, sometimes it's an easy energy to get wrapped up in or feed into. But I feel like you've been there, done that, and now you just want peace. So you may be looking for things that are more tranquil and quiet now. I don't know if it'll last, but I feel like that's what you're feeling maybe at this time. So I hope these messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Capricorn. Hi, Capricorn. So the first card you have is Seven of Rods, and this is you keeping negative energy or communications at bay, or closing the door on negative communications or energies coming at you. It could also indicate you taking the moral high ground in a situation. You may feel like, what am I, the customer service or the complaint department? And you may feel like you're dealing with a lot of people's angst, a lot of people's fussing and complaining. It could be at work, it could be at home, it could be happening in multiple places. You could also see where somebody, I hear the collective consciousness of Capricorn going, I see where this is going, and I'm stopping you right here. So you could have somebody like maybe one of your kids or a sibling or, you know, a boss or coworkers or employees to you, depending on your situation, where they're agitated. It could be client or customer, where they're agitated and they're coming at you with either accusations or, like I said, complaints. And you're going to say, I see where this is going. I'm stopping you right here. You're not going to want to listen to some tirade coming at you. People could be complaining to you if you are in a situation in a workplace where things have changed, or in a family living situation or relationships have changed. And the people involved may really be complaining about these changes. They may think things are more difficult, harder to do, taking longer, not making any sense. And this can apply either in your home life, it can apply to a club, group, or organization that you belong to, or a company or business you work for or own, where things have changed. Could be schedules, could be protocols and methods of how things are done, how things are handled. And you're going to hear people complaining like, it should have never changed. It should have stayed the same way, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be like, I'm stopping you where you're, I see where this is going. I'm stopping you right now. Because some of these things may not be in your control. Some of this stuff may be also be being imposed upon you. So you may not have the say whether stuff changed or didn't change. Card you have next is the Hierophant, and the other sign that got the Hierophant in this mid-month update is Aries. So Capricorn and Aries both got the Hierophant, and that is God or a high priest or pope giving you a blessing or a warning. It could indicate higher education or higher learning. You could be the teacher or the student. This could also indicate religion or an authority figure. If you work for a business or company, they could be saying to you, Capricorn, we need you to have more training or go back to school or take some kind of program. Some of you may feel like this is useless. You may feel like it's a useless exercise. Some of you may find that you are getting trained, or they want you to go back to school or get something because they want to make you a boss, a CEO, a manager, the head of a department, a supervisor, or some type of more elevated position. You know, if you applied for another job, and this is going on at the company or business you work for, you could find out that you got hired at another job that you interviewed at, and you may be like, nope, not going because I'm going to leave and I'm going over here to this company or business. There could be a thread of anxiety that runs through some of you Capricorns about how you can protect your family. That could also involve protecting your family's assets, the money. But it could be like maybe you have a thread of concern because the area where you live is getting more dicey, you know, more crime, more protests, people acting out, more crime, more dangerous Maybe you live in an area where there's, bombing or war going on, and you could be worried about how do you could have worry. How do I protect my family, yourself, and keep things safe? You could meet up with somebody that would take you on some kind of tour of something that could be involving protective devices or protective of security systems, camera systems, or protection devices. So you could be speaking to somebody that could be filling you in on that stuff, giving you a heads up, giving you instruction about it. So I hope these messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Now on to the sign of Aquarius. Hi, Aquarius. So the first card you have is Temperance. This is patience, needing patience, having patience. It could also indicate alchemy, where God is working through you in what you're doing, thinking, creating, and saying. You may really be trying to ponder and figure out the next step in life, or your next phase of life, or some next step or phase of something you want to do. And you may be analyzing things and going, I really see where the trouble spots are. This could be in your home environment. It could have to do with your roof, your basement, your attic. It could have to do with things on your foundation or things on your property. But it could be in other aspects of your life. You may feel like you want to make things clear to people of what you're doing or not doing. However, you may not be totally clear enough on it yourself to be able to do that yet. And any dangers out there in the world, you're seeing where they are and you want to avoid them. And it doesn't even have to be dangers. It could be pitfalls of certain things, maybe AI or certain treatments or medications or something like that. You may see the pitfalls and the dangers involved, and you may be like, well, I want to avoid those things. You could have somebody that could approach you that is interested in buying and then selling your work. So they may want to buy something that you do, that you work on, or that you've created, and then they're going to turn around and resell it and try to make a profit. You may feel the need to find some kind of inner peace and calm. You may feel like you need to calm down. And so you may be looking into meditation or other practices or foods or things you could eat or do that could help you have more peace, feel more calm. Maybe you're going to want to exercise, because sometimes when you exercise, like jogging or other forms of exercise, it really actually reduces stress and calms you down. So the card you have with it is not very calm-inducing. You have the Seven of Swords. And this is somebody lying to you, deceiving you, or stealing from you. You got to watch out, because there could be somebody that's portraying themselves to you as an official somebody. They could be pretending to be a cop or something else. But they're not who they say they are. You got to be careful of emails, any kind of hacking that could go on, or getting any kind of communication from somebody, or somebody may want to hire to do work for you. A babysitter, a dog walker, a roofer, a landscaper, somebody that puts in alarm systems, whatever it is. They may not really be who they say they are. It could be a front for something else that could involve stealing and nefarious occurrences. You could have somebody trying to size you up to see how easy it would be to get over on you, or to steal something from you, or to steal something from your property. You really need to make sure you're locking your doors, your windows, your car. Like, be very careful of all of that, because there could be somebody sizing up you or your vehicle or your property to see how easy it would be to get over on you. I'm not saying this to make you paranoid, but it is the card that comes up, and this is what my guides are saying to me. But you know, you're pretty clued in, Aquarius, and I feel they're not going to, if you know this person or talk to them one-on-one, they're not going to be able to get over on you. I feel they're going to try to get over on you. Now, like I said, for some of you, this could just be somebody looking at your car because they want to steal it, or looking at your house because they want to break into it. But it could be, like I said in the beginning, somebody who wants to, you know, like pretend they're somebody you would hire, but they're doing it to get over on you, and they want to see. And you may not, that may not happen at all. You may even play along with them like it's working, but in the long run, I feel like many of you Aquarians are going to tap into your psychic ability and see through it and won't fall for it. But you still need to be careful, because there's other kinds of thievery here that could occur. So lock your stuff up and, you know, take precautions in those ways. So I hope those messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. Remember, psychic ability, psychic predictions, when you hear things you don't like, sometimes they're warnings and cautions to help you avoid problems. So I hope these messages were of help to you. Now on to the sign of Pisces. Hi, Pisces. Last but not least, you've got the High Priestess. This is a card that symbolizes you having an increase in your psychic ability and psychic awareness. So you could be the psychic here. This card can also indicate that something is being kept secret or hidden. You could be keeping something secret or hidden, or somebody else could be doing that to you. This card can also symbolize a high spirit guide coming in here in your reading. You got to be careful of your footing. You have to be careful you don't slip and fall. You also have to be careful of the words that you use, that you don't slip up and let some secret out. It's like, you know where the wolves in sheep's clothing lie, so you are like hypersensitive and hyper aware of people and what's going on with them and around them. So you're going to read people psychically extremely well in April and going into May, especially if you're in any kind of workplace, work situations, or any clubs, groups, or organizations you belong to. It could even happen within your family, but you're going to be reading people and their motives and intentions quite well. If you get put in charge of anything, you may want to make up some sort of chain of command, some hierarchy, or it could be steps to do something. So it could be something you're doing and creating. You're putting together a format, a protocol, a methodology, an organization of the way things run and go. Or a hierarchy, like this one's the boss, this one's the manager, this one is the next on the list. Like, so it could be a hierarchy of people if you're developing a business or company. You may want to make assurances that things are protected. You could be concerned about buying insurance, or making sure insurance is paid up, or taking certain precautions of safety to bring, like safety and assurance to something you're doing. It could be about money. It could be about money in banking. It could be about a business or company you own or that you work for. This could be a month where if you want to get pregnant, your fertility could be very high. And if you don't want to get pregnant, make sure you and your partner are taking precautions about that. The next card you have in your reading is the Three of Cups. This is three sisters, three females, three friends. It can mean help from friends. It can indicate a party, a gathering, or a celebration that you're attending, or you could be the one throwing the gathering, throwing the party. It can also indicate a celebratory conclusion to something going on. The other sign that got this was Scorpio, so your fellow water sign, Scorpio, also got Three of Cups in this mid-month update. You could see some people kind of riled up or spiraling out of control, or being kind of snippy, or getting agitated with each other, or jealousy of each other. And this could happen in a family situation, a club, group, or organization you belong to, or in the workplace. And you may be going out of your way to trying to make everything better and trying to make people happy and trying to calm everybody down. If you have siblings, there could be sibling rivalry that could kick up now. Or if you're a parent and you have children, you could be witnessing sibling rivalry among your kids. Or if you're in the workplace and you're a boss, manager, or supervisor, or even if you just work there, you could see some kind of rivalry among coworkers. You could be getting some kind of training. You could be learning like the logistics of how something works. It could be something new that a boss or a company you work for is incorporating, and now you need to learn how to do it or how something works. If you're starting a new job, it could be like you're learning the ropes at the new job. And what's going to make things work well is good communications among you, the other people involved, whether it's clients and customers, or bosses, managers, and supervisors, or if it's with coworkers or family members. Doesn't matter where this is coming from. The thing that's going to be the most important thing is clear and concise and open communications. So I hope these messages were of help to you, and I hope they made sense. As always, thank you so very much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribing. And make sure you hit that notification bell and all so that you get notified when I upload my videos here to YouTube. And if you would like to get any of this special video series I record for very specific topics, bringing you more psychic predictions and messages from my spirit guides, you can get them on my Vimeo on-demand videos and also on my Patreon. I've created a list you can read here on this slide. They are also linked below this video in the description box, and eventually these links will get posted to my website, theluckymermaid.com, on the videos page. Also, please be sure you're following me on Facebook, X, and also on my YouTube community posts, because I do post psychic predictions and messages there as well, so you might want to check that out. And if you'd like to support this channel and you don't want to get the videos, extra videos I record, I do have a donation link down below in the description box, and it is connected to PayPal. So I do truly appreciate all of your support in this channel, no matter how you give it, it is greatly appreciated. So I wish you all absolutely amazing energy to come to you in the middle of this month of April 2026. And know that I wish you many blessings and peace.